The European Union says the bloc is ready to react if Russia doesn't resume gas deliveries through a key Baltic pipeline.
The Sunday Times is reporting comments made by President Zelensky on the financial hardship facing the UK and other Western countries. The Ukrainian leader says the consequences of the Russian invasion are painful, but insists that rising energy bills are a price worth paying to avert a new world war. His wife has done an interview for the new Laura Kuenssberg programme this morning on.
President Zelensky of Ukraine urges Europe to remain united in the face of Russia's use of energy as an economic weapon. His wife tells the BBC about the continuing impact of the war on Ukrainian people. The President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, has called for greater European unity in response to Russia's use of energy as a weapon. Speaking a day after Moscow said it would not restart gas exports through the Nordstream 1 pipeline, Mr. Zelensky said Russia aimed to intimidate and weaken all of Europe and was trying to inflict poverty and political chaos in places it can't yet strike with missiles. Ukraine's First Lady, Olena Zelenska, has been speaking to the BBC's Laura Kuenssberg. In an interview recorded in Kiev, Mrs. Zelenska said the economic impact of the war in Ukraine may be tough on Ukraine's allies, but whilst Britons are having to count pennies, Ukrainians are counting casualties.
We hear that energy is getting pricier, that life's getting pricier, but people should understand that that is not coming through the West's support to Ukraine, but through the actions of Russia.
There is no comparison to the suffering of people here, but at home in the United Kingdom, as you acknowledge, people are facing very painful choices because of the soaring cost of energy that's going to make things very tough for people. What would you say to our viewers watching at home who feel desperately sorry for what's happening to your people, but also who feel desperately worried about their own ability to pay the bills, to keep a roof over their head? What would you say to them?
Well, of course I understand the situation is very tough, but let me recall that at the time of the COVID-19 epidemic, and it's still with us, when there were price hikes, Ukraine is affected as well. The prices are going up in Ukraine as well. But in addition, our people get killed. So when you start counting pennies on your bank account or in your pocket, we do the same and count our casualties. These days, a woman was killed walking in a park in Kharkiv. Many people were injured. If the support is strong, this period will be shorter.
Ukrainian families whose homes are close to Europe's largest nuclear power plant say that they're living in fear, despite the arrival of monitors from the International Atomic Energy Agency.
Both Russia and Ukraine accuse each other of shelling the plant, prompting fears of a nuclear accident. Our security correspondent Frank Gardner has been to the nearby city of Zaporizhia.
Under police escort, more than 100 Ukrainian civilians make it to safety after enduring 6 months of fear and insecurity.
Just on the edge of Zaporizhia city, we came across this convoy of around 40 vehicles streaming out of Russian-held territory to the site. Why are they leaving? Mostly because of the shelling. Some of them say they simply do not want to live under Russian occupation.
For some, the emotion is overwhelming. They've left behind their friends and their livelihoods. But this family told me they had no choice. School forced us, said Artem. They started threatening those children who refused to go to a Russian school would be sent to a military academy. Then there's the nearby nuclear power plant. UN monitors are there now, but it could still come under attack, so Ukraine is taking precautions. Potassium iodide tablets are being handed out to those who live nearby, a partial antidote in case there's a leak of radiation. Anastasia is one of those who's been queuing up for the pills.
It's scary at night when you hear the explosions. We live high up on the 8th floor and we can hear them coming from Nikopol and other towns. I'm petrified. I want to save my life and protect my child.
I met the mayor of Nehodar, that's the town next to the nuclear plant. He's in constant contact with those who still work there under Russian control.
Are you confident
that the IAEA is getting a true picture of the situation at the power plant.
Безумовно, що є, що це буде об'єктивна картинка. На жаль,
No, I really doubt the picture will be objective. Unfortunately, Russia didn't allow access for the international media, so the story is being shaped by the Russian occupiers.
Zaporizhia, the nearest city to the nuclear plant, doesn't feel like it's in a war zone. Life largely goes on here as normal, but everyone wants this war to end and for the threat of a nuclear accident to be lifted. Frank Gardner, BBC News, Zaporizhia, Ukraine.